Let's look at number 5. Again, when we're setting this up, we need to set up the side opposite the angle that we are looking for. 16 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 5 times 13 times the cosine of x. We don't know what the angle is. I don't know about you, but I don't know what 16 squared is without doing a little bit of work. 256. 5 squared plus 13 squared, 25 plus something. I think it's 169. 194 minus 130 times the cosine of x. So next step, we subtract 194. We get 62 is equal to negative 130. Then we divide by the negative 130. So we get negative 31 over 65 is equal to the cosine of x. To solve for our angle, we do the inverse cosine of that ratio. And we get approximately 118.5 degrees. Again, go back to your diagram there and make sure that it makes sense. 16 is the longest side in your triangle, so it makes sense to have an obtuse angle there. So it's not a surefire way to check anything, but it is a good thing to just a good exercise to go through. Very quickly, let me go back a couple of steps and show you what would happen if you mistakenly did the 194 minus 130 and put that in front of your cosine. Okay, so your next step, that's being multiplied by the cosine, so your next step would be to divide 256 by 64, which is 4, and the cosine of an angle can't be bigger than 1, just like the sine of an angle can't be bigger than 1, so you would end up getting an error message there, and you would mistakenly say that there is no solution when there actually is a solution. Okay, let's do one more here. Instead of ABC, we've got LMN, so LM is 25, MN is 20, LN is 24, find measure of angle L. So we put MN by itself. Let me mention one more thing here. There are 2 ways to label sides of triangles. If you looked at the diagram at the very, very beginning, it didn't have like A, B, B, C, B, A, C. It had just A, B, and C. So remember that the side opposite of the angle is the lowercase lettered side. So 20 would be side L. It could also be named MN. 24 would be side M, and 25 would be side N because it's opposite of those angles. Okay, let's see here. We've got 400 is equal to 25 squared plus 24 squared. 1201 minus 50 times 24. 1200. Cosine of L. We need to subtract the 1201 and divide by the negative 1200. And then our inverse cosine gives us that angle L is approximately 48.1 degrees. And if we look at it, let's see here, L is the smallest side, or side MN is the smallest side, so angle L should be the smallest angle, 48.1, probably the smallest angle there. Now, we were only solving for one piece in these problems. Here's the good thing about the law of cosines. Once you do it once, you have enough information. You do not have to do the law of cosines again. If we needed to find angle M or angle N here, we would just need to set up the law of sines using side L and angle L, and whichever one they're asking us about would be the other part of the law of sines. Okay? You do not have to ever repeat the law of cosines. It gives you enough information that after that point, you could just use the law of sines. Okay?